Happy Monday once again. This is Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. We've been pretty baseball heavy on here. Of course, with Tennessee making a run to the College World Series, 2-0 in the College World Series right now. They're one more win away from making it to the championship series this coming weekend, starting on Saturday. But there's a lot of work left to do in the meantime. But I've said it a lot here. I've primarily covered baseball, basketball. Start bringing in some Lady Vols basketball content. But I said this thing, we're coming for football eventually. So I'm at a time now where I can start to mix this stuff in and stuff a bit. So let's cover it, man. Let's get into this weekend. Tennessee had like 26 official visitors this weekend. And been trying to read around, anytime guys visit, you're going, they're going to be coming off, oh, I love the visit, I love the atmosphere. You can see it a lot in the same things. But where did Tennessee truly make a difference this weekend? What guys do we see that are truly that they, with a lot of visits still left to be taken along the way? Which ones do Tennessee stand a good chance of surviving? Which ones are, maybe they're the hot team right now in that recruitment, but they take visits and they're going to fade. There's still more visits coming up this coming weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Can't remember the names on that right now. But of course, the big one on the board, I'm going to Steve Wilfong on 3 had a good article recapping the weekend. So I'm just going to I'm not going to put it up here because I'm not sure if it's behind a paywall. I'm sure it probably is, but I'll kind of give as much detail as I can. Of course, the big visitor was David Sanders Jr., offensive lineman, number 2 prospect overall according to On 3. He's pretty much consensus top 5, depending on where you look at on it. But it really seems to me like Tennessee's in a strong position on David Sanders. Now, he does have a couple more visits left. He has one to Ohio State, and I think Alabama is the other one. So Tennessee still has to survive these visits, but they have George McIntyre on him. McIntyre was back in town recruiting him this weekend. It's said that Sanders has made good relationships with the Tennessee commits. One thing I do have a beef with, and people's put it out there, and some have tried to downplay it, but the fact that your top recruit left on the board comes in and his name is misspelled on a tag. I'm sorry, but I'm not saying somebody should lose their job over it, but somebody needs a talking to on that. Let's proofread what we're doing. And I say that as somebody, I've messed up a couple times on here recently as well because I didn't double check my info. So I'm not, this is not pot calling the kettle black, but you know what? I'm not hosting recruits either on here. I'm just some YouTube hack. I'm not really a hack, but anyhow, you get where I'm going with that one. Out of all these people in this recruiting office, you've got to do better than that. We've got to do better. And, maybe it just makes for a funny story later on. That's what we hope. And David Sanders commits, signs with Tennessee, has a great career, and goes on to the NFL. I don't think this will be a make or break by any means, but you've got to do better in that regard. I see it with articles written now. Again, I'm not a supposed professional at this, so I'm not just casting stones here or anything, but I'm seeing guys who are supposed to be professionals not proofreading and stuff like that. It's trying to get it out there quick. It tells me that somebody didn't put the time in that they needed to make these name tags and stuff. And if you have that many people in your recruiting office and your staff, you got to do better. Somebody's got to catch that before you put it out there on it. Just a small tangent, small rant. I think that's unacceptable. I'm going to be honest. I think that is totally unacceptable to do that by whichever staff or staffers dropped the ball on that one, that you didn't do your job on it. Is what it is. We'll get into it. But David Sanders, from what I've seen, is probably not a big deal. I think Tennessee's the team to beat for him right now. Reading between the lines, he's been to Clemson and Georgia. I think Tennessee's ahead of him. He's been to Tennessee 4 times just this year, if I'm not mistaken on that. And I think the biggest thing for Tennessee surviving these last couple visits, getting to that decision, that hopefully a decision comes in July. If they can survive those visits, keep doing what they're doing recruiting-wise, I think Tennessee stands a good chance to add David Sanders. Would be huge to this class, getting McIntyre and then Sanders. Another one that seems to me like they're making a big move with, I've seen numerous people, Wilt Fong said it Anna Adams on 3 said it as well. Isaiah Gibson, he's a 5-star from Georgia. He is committed to USC, but it kind of really seems like, people said Georgia is the biggest threat. Maybe they are, but it seems like Tennessee has put themselves in a position to possibly be able to flip that one. Jaden Perlow, I hope that's the name on it. He's been verbal to Georgia for a long time now, for almost a year and a half. But, people are saying Tennessee is the biggest threat to it. But he's supposed to be back in Athens this coming weekend. And, if this is the guy Georgia wants, I think you got to think Georgia is able to put that fire out on it. Maybe not. I hope Tennessee can pull that one off. It would be big. Tennessee does need linebackers in this class. But, that's another guy that, hopefully Tennessee can pull stuff on. Of course, like I said, any of the guys who come in, it's rare to hear that a visit didn't go well. Who are they going to be able to pull? I mean, Jamie French was just there a few weeks ago. He's back again. People are saying Tennessee's chasing LSU, Texas, and Miami, but the fact that he keeps coming to Knoxville, it makes you wonder on that how serious it is. Jared Smith was there, big 5-star edge out of Alabama. It seems like Tennessee, he liked the visit. Of course, Shakai Mills-Knight out of Chattanooga. He's a running back. He's from Canada. And, a lot of people think Miami's to beat, but Tennessee continues to swing. And they continue to make him wanted down there. Charles House out of Charlotte. That's one that he's visited Alabama. He's visited Georgia. Seems like he's liked wherever he's visited. Now it's saying, he's got a visit. His decision's coming pretty soon. What, the 22nd, I believe it is. So did Tennessee swing the momentum back? It was thought that Tennessee led for a while, and then he's gone on these other visits. He's enjoyed them. Those teams have moved up. Did Tennessee do enough here at the end to close that recruitment off? It's going to be interesting to see how that one finishes off. The receiver, based on what I've read, what I've put together, that Tennessee has a really good shot, it seems like, to get, is St. Louis receiver DeJarian Miller. I think that's one that they have a good shot at. Seems like he has a decision coming in August. He has visits heading to UCLA and Kentucky. But I think that's one Tennessee has done a pretty good job with, and I think they would stand to possibly add him in August. And then one to look out for Jefferson County offensive lineman Nick Moore. He was close to committing this week, and many believe it was to West Virginia. West Virginia's selling him on being a defensive lineman. He put that off. He visited Tennessee. You got to think that's a good sign for them as they continue to try to add interior linemen. And then, one that they're in, Timothy Merritt, a corner out of Alabama, had committed to Miami. He still made the visit to Knoxville. According to what I read, according to Will Thong stuff, Tennessee they're not going away. They're going to be in this one till the end. So that's just a few of them that I got off the top of my head that, based on what I've read. And, of course, you had some commits in town and stuff with McIntyre solid. These guys continue to do their thing. Tennessee, according to On3, ranks 14th in recruiting. How do they finish? That's going to be the key. Adding offensive linemen, that's going to be huge. I think they want another running back, another receiver, another tight end. Where do they go? Line, their defense, adding defensive guys along the way. There's a long way to go. And it's almost 6 months till early signing day. Of course, official visits are in full swing. So how do they do with more visits coming this weekend? I'll keep you updated on that as well. But I'm going to wrap up here. If you're into baseball right now, make sure you check out the next day. I'll link that here at the end. I'll put a link in the description on this as well. Had the live show last night. I'm going live every game. We'll be live Wednesday after the Tennessee versus either North Carolina or Florida State baseball game. We'll wrap that one up. And hopefully we'll be talking about Tennessee moving on to the championship series this weekend. So Tennessee does have to be double dipped at this point by either North Carolina or Florida State. I don't care who we play. I wouldn't be surprised to see North Carolina. There's part of me with Florida State still whining the way they are. I'd like to see Florida State and Tennessee just emphatically beat them and send them to the house. That'd be okay with me as well. I don't care either way. Bring either one of them on. I think Tennessee's better than both, and I think it will show on Wednesday. But my name's Frank Rock. This is the House of Orange Sports Channel. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. And last but most certainly not least, go Vols.
Texas